Well, you're welcome to my YouTube channel at BOK Zone. So today I'll be going straight to the board. I'll be talking about introduction to chemistry. Chemistry. Now, why am I bringing this up? These are the rudiments. These are the primary things we need to know. You know, when you're building a house, you need to lay the foundation, and from there you can start putting up other things. So the same thing is applicable to any subject. Okay, you need to know the rudiments for those coming in into SS1, or for those already in SS2, SS3, and so for those that are actually done with school, preparing to write JAM. This is also what's needed. This is the prerequisites that is needed for you to understand the subjects properly. So let's get to the board. Now the first thing is here says what is matter. The second point says what is chemistry. The third point says what are chemicals. The fourth one says the scientific method. The fifth says chemistry in everyday activities. Now you should have asked me, or some person might say, why won't chemistry come first? This one come second or so. Now please watch carefully and listen, okay? Now matter. What is matter? Matter is anything that has mass and occupies space, okay? Matter is anything that has mass, okay, and what occupies space. Now I did not use weight. You know, most times we make the mistake that matter is anything that has weight and occupies space. I think that would be my concluding part of the video, where I will ask you to differentiate between mass and weight, okay? They are quite different, okay? So matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. Now you can ask, what is matter? Examples of matter. Now let me tell you, the house you live in is matter, the clothes you wear, the food you eat, the dress you wear, and you also watching me is also called what? Matter. So don't get it twisted, okay? Myself, I am matter, you're matter, okay? Living things and non-living things are actually called matter. Do you understand it? So that is for matter, okay? Now what is chemistry? Chemistry can be defined as a branch of science, okay? Let me use the board. The branch of science because there are actually other branches of science like biology, physics, okay? Now chemistry is a branch of science that deals with the study of matter. It deals with the study of matter, its structure, its composition, its components. Do you understand me? And the changes it undergoes, okay? These are what we, or this is what we call, this is how we define chemistry. Okay, chemistry is a study, is a branch of science that deals with the structure, the composition, and what the composition, yes, it's the changes the matter what undergoes, okay? That is for matter. Now you can ask yourself, or you ask me, what are chemicals? I don't talk about chemicals. We're talking about those things maybe we see in the laboratory where we mix something together, you have the reactants and the product. No. Don't get it twisted, okay? You can say all forms of matter. All forms of matter is what referred to as what? Chemical. Whether biologically or what? Artificial. That's naturally or artificial. Let me use this point here. Okay, I think I'm done with this. So what are chemicals? Chemicals are what's referred to as all forms of matter. Sorry, I wrote all forms of matter. All forms of matter are referred to as what? Chemicals, whether naturally or existing matter or artificially existing matter. Artificially, you can also put in brackets man-made, okay? Man-made is referred to as artificial, okay? Are referred to as what? Matter. So with natural and what man-made forms I would refer to as matter. So what are chemicals? All forms of matter. I've defined matters for you. So all forms of matter are referred to as what? Chemicals, whether naturally existing matter or artificially what? Made matter. You understand? So let me talk about the next point, the scientific method. The scientific method. The scientific method. Now, this method is applicable to both science and what other forms. For instance, if I want to inquire about new ideas, for instance, even as a businessman as well, you can sit within your environment and think of what idea, what am I observing in this environment? For instance, in your environment, maybe you have um, maybe one or two schools. You have to say, what can I do? What can I do in this environment? Okay, that will bring maybe money into my pocket or my account. That is the first thing you said doing this was you're now observing. You're watching the environment. That's observation. You're using your eyes, your senses, your thinking faculty was into use. So that is how it works. Okay, even as a scientist, there are methods. Okay, there are methods we put into that enables us bring up new ideas and also what propound theories or laws as well. Okay, so let me talk about it. The scientific method are methods. Okay, they are methods used to what bringing things like making inquiry and also bringing those things what into play. For instance, the steps involve four major steps. Let me use this part of the board here. Okay, the first thing is what you observe. That's observation. When you start observing, okay, you start observing. Oh, you start looking, making use of your eyes, your senses. Okay, wow. Okay, okay. This is how it is. Okay, you start observing, start looking out for things. Okay, start looking out for opportunities. And after doing that, you take the next step. You collect data or facts. Collecting data or facts. You start writing down. Start jotting. Okay, when I do like this, it will go like this. You understand? That is what we call collecting data or facts. Okay. The next point is you test what? Testing hypothesis. Testing hypothesis. Okay, now what is testing of hypothesis? Hypothesis. Okay, sorry. Now, the steps to scientific method include one, observation. I've talked about observation, how you carefully look out for something. The next point is what? Collecting data or facts. Like I said, you use maybe your writing materials, you jot down, whatever form you can use to what extract knowledge or sorry, extract the information you do it. Then the next point is what? You formulating hypothesis. Formulating what? Hypothesis. Okay, formulating what? Hypothesis. Now take note. Take note. When you formulate, what is hypothesis? Hypothesis, let me write note. Is okay. I just want to use something that you understand. I don't want to use big word or big vocabulary. When an idea is still in the testing stage, is referred to as what? Hypothesis. So when you're still testing your idea, okay, if I put it this way, you know, when you're testing, trying to put things in place, it means what? That is what? Hypothesis. That is hypothesis. So you formulate your hypothesis. The next step again is what? You test what? Testing hypothesis. Okay. Now take note as well. When you're testing for hypothesis, is either that idea can be rejected, is either it can be rejected, it can be modified, okay, modified, or what it is accepted, okay, so any of them apply. So while you're still testing for the idea, that idea can be rejected. Oh, it does not fit in. It can be modified. Okay, what if you put it this way? You understand? I don't know if you've heard people say, what if you put this thing this way like this? What if it goes this way? So that's what we call modification. You understand? So when you start testing for hypothesis, so many things can come up. Now, after testing for hypothesis, okay, the next one is what? Let me use, okay, sorry. When it's accepted also, it can become what? A theory. Theory, okay? Now what's theory? Theory is when your hypothesis, okay? When the hypothesis is generally accepted by what other scientists, okay, so it now becomes what? A theory. Do you understand? It now becomes what? A theory. So these are the steps, okay, scientists take to bringing up what new things or new ideas. Do you understand it? Okay. So the last part of it I talked about is chemistry in our everyday activities. Let me clean this part here. Chemistry. Okay, so the next point is what? Chemistry in our everyday activities. Now take notes. Chemistry does not just occur in the laboratory alone. It occurs every day in everything we do every day practically. Okay. Now the first place it occurs majorly is what? In the kitchen. You know, where you go to make food. Kitchen. Okay. So when you start sorting for things you want to cook with, you start estimating, you start cooking, boiling, okay? You start frying, all those things. Your what? Chemistry is taking place, okay? Okay, so you can see that in cooking, that's when you cook, boiling, frying, etc. Okay, you experience chemistry, not just in the lab alone, okay? You can see that what in our daily use. For instance, the soap we use, detergents, okay? We see chemistry in place as well. You can see that too in agriculture. In agriculture, your fertilizer, that's for instance NPK fertilizers. You can see that for drugs, pharmacy, that's pharmaceutical industries, you know, drugs production. Okay, for instance, you have your Panadol, etc. We have so many of them. The making of explosives, like dynamite. That's an explosive. Okay, we have TNT, explosives, etc. So chemistry is applicable in all area of life. Okay. So I believe with this basic understanding, please don't say you don't need it. You know they say the little things we undermine is actually what builds us up. Okay, like cell, for instance, before we became living things, it started from what the smallest unit of life, cell, the basic unit of life. So don't undermine these things. Now, when you take these things into consideration, you start building. Okay. In my next video, I'll be talking about matter. We're going to look at the nature of matter, particulate nature of matter. Okay, from there we start building. Now this is your assignment. This is what you're going to do. You're going to drop it in the comment section, your answer. You're going to tell me 5 differences or 4. Okay, let me write down. Okay, so you're going to tell me outline 5 differences between mass and weight. Now, as we proceed, we'll not talk about calculations in chemistry. Okay, we'll start dealing with some calculations in chemistry as well. Now, what I'm doing is I'm building. I don't want to take topics or topics at random. I want to build. So be patient with me, and I bet you will like this video. Please, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do well to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you for always watching. Thank you for supporting your girl. Bye for now. Bye.